Hisari is a ruined city at the base of a volcano called the Crown, which marks one end of a mountain range known as Snake Lizard Mountains. This used to be a city of Yuan Ti, but now they've all moved on to Omu. There's a spell that's like the antipathy-sympathy spell, whereby you choose specific things to stay out of that area, be forbidden for going in. This time it's the Yuan Ti. And half of this city has actually crumbled, fallen into the floor, opening up tunnels to the subterranean depths. And this top half of the city just been reclaimed with vines and moss, but hopefully enticing enough that the players will investigate down into the tunnels. Which kind of led me on to think, maybe we get away with the spell forbiddance thing. So I can plug in something like this. Epic Encounters. This one is called Temple of the Snake God. I bought this and haven't used it yet. So in the box it suggests that the PCs might stumble upon a temple where ancient Yuan Ti priests saw their own destruction already foretold while they were going through innards of their pets and getting like fortune-telling readings. Basically, massive giant snakes were bred by ancient people over generations, and finally they'd managed to create this vast guardian. In this book we get a things you might find table. The regurgitated skeleton of an elephant which looks to have been swallowed whole, a pair of strange figurines depicting a man petting a large snake wrapped around his shoulders, skipping down, the remains of an altar which has been smashed apart. At the bottom of the altar is a reliquary of strange and cracked bones from which the marrow has been removed. And along with this table you also get great environmental effects to add. Things such as crushing temple walls, shedding snake skin, sarcophagi, obelisk, ancient mirror with ghostly hands. This box, for example, actually has a double-sided map in it, so you can use it twice with things in slightly different positions, on separate occasions obviously. So one on the map, these are magical mirrors throwing light around. Shadows seem to move unnaturally around this temple. A player within 5 feet of one of these mirrors makes a wisdom save of whatever amount. The book knows not to bother giving a number, it's for us to make up, let's say 13. Or they take 2d6 force damage as ghostly hands reach out and grasp them through the mirror. I also made up the 2d6 force damage. Number 2 is an altar where countless sacrifices were made, and it's covered in dark patches of blood. Now the PCs get to save against visions of the bloodshed and take psychic damage, and are also frightened if you wish. So work that how you like. They could simply be frightened of the entire room, the altar, or just give them a -2 to all their rolls because of this frightening condition. Number 3, it mentions pillars. They're everywhere, and not all of them are now holding the roof up after the sinkage. So players can actually stand up on these things, but also enemies can topple them. Falling off is like another 2d6 damage. When the big bad does appear, it gets options of scalable minions. Lower tier, middle tier, higher tier. Depending on how you need to run it, depending on how strong the party is. The minions consist of serpent half-breeds, AC 12, hit points 66, a sword, a bow, a bite. Serpent folk Nemitoa the spellcaster, AC 15, hit points 127, a bunch of spells and a bite attack, a constrict, and an obsidian knife. Then we have 3 sizes of big bad menace. An infant snake, a mature snake, or an ancient giant snake, which has an AC of 18, hit points average of 325. It has legendary resistances, it has legendary actions, on top of 3 attacks which bite or constrict. And finally, we're provided with loot based on the severity of the battle, lower, middle, higher. They do various boxes in the range of these now, and they cost about £30 UK each. I've yet to paint this model, but the mould is stunning.